Does transformation matter when it comes to identifying your next property purchase? The answer is absolutely yes. What does the sale at Marina Bay and Park Green and EC have in common? They are both the first condo in an area of transformation. So if we were to pull out the charts, you can see from the charts itself, both condos actually experience huge growth in terms of percentage, more than 100% if the first owner that bought during launch lah. So if you can see, right, does transformation matter when it comes to identifying your next property purchase? The answer is absolutely yes. But not all transformation are equal. What do I mean by that? I actually have a formula that I'll share with you in this video today of how I look at transformation and how it will impact your property purchase and the exit strategy down the years. So the formula that I always share with my clients when it comes to property investing is the impact of the transformation multiplied by the years it takes for the transformation to happen. What does it mean? Let me explain. The impact of a transformation is actually very straightforward. What it means is how strong will that impact be on that area, because there's many transformation going around with our Singapore government, right? It can be rejuvenating an area of heritage houses, doing sheltered walkways, or improving your bus stops. Transformation like this, the impact is very minimal in terms of financial sense, but it brings about an upgrade to a person's livelihood. But if you are a buyer buying into the area, you will not see this as potential capital appreciation factors. What are impactful transformation are usually business hub, setting up of a new township that brings in more people into the area. Most straightforward will be the mass of BTOs that they are going to build, where you will see an influx of younger generation moving into the area itself. For example, the Tengah district, I think they launched about 30,000 BTOs over a span of 5 years. So that area will be very interesting to look at. The next interesting or more impactful transformation, right, will be the setting up of business hub. For example, the second CBD area or the Woodlands regional area. So all these are impactful because it brings about jobs into the area. With jobs and BTO being built, right, all this will bring in more demand for future upgrading and sales and purchase of flat in the area, and it ultimately, right, will drive up the property prices. So for impact of transformation for property purchase, always look at it in terms of how big is this impact gonna be, and in terms of dollar value, how much dollar can it bring, not just to the property side first, but to the livelihood of the area, people in that area. After we have discussed the impact of transformation, right, the next thing which I would like to highlight that a lot of people will tend to forget or ignore is the time for this transformation to happen. Because a lot of times when you are going to viewing in show flats or resale unit, as agents you will always try to upsell the transformation that is happening. But did you ever stop and question yourself, how long will this transformation take to happen? So I'll give an example that has happened in the past. If you were to look at the Punggol Digital District, right, the first plan of announcement where they are going to transform or revamp the Punggol area was actually in the 1997 or 1998 National Day rally, where our government have plans to make it into a digital hub. So if you are the first owner that bought into that area, right, as you can see from the graph, right, the transaction is actually pretty stagnant and there aren't much growth for the property prices as well. Why? Because the plan didn't really materialize until a much later date. So you'll see if you bought in right from the beginning, right, where they were promising, oh, we are going to do this, we're going to do that, but it didn't materialize, right, the time spent waiting for things to happen, right, your money could have put into better use, or you could have flipped another property in your property cycle. So this is something to note as well. The boom only came when our government decided to focus their efforts in that area with a concrete timeline of, okay, within the next 3 to 5 years we're going to do this, within the next 5 to 7 years this is going to happen. Then you will see, oh, HDB start coming in. After then there will be the MOP period, the HDBs owners start to want to upgrade, and you'll see more condos, and the prices over there start going up, including the introducing of the new business hub and whatsoever. So all these are important factors. So if you were to look at the different transformation around the area in Singapore now, if you were to go and study the master plan, there's so many transformation that is ongoing at the same time, but their timeline is very different. Take for example, Greater Southern Waterfront. The chasing away of the ports, the reclamation of the land, after that they still need to sell the land, after that they still need to build upon the land. How long do you think this whole process will take? And eventually, if you buy a property now where the plan will only materialize, let's say 20 years down the road, do you think your property will have appreciated in these 20 years? Or even if there's appreciation, would it be substantial? Would the gains be substantial? One very classic example is, I will just highlight this condo at the Tanjong Pagar area. It's called V on Shenton. If you look at the number of transactions or the time it takes for the unit to sell there, it actually takes up a very long time. Firstly, because of the lack of demand, people that bought in with a story that will only come into place 20 years, 30 years down the road. And the people that manage to sell or exit, they are not actually making any profit. And some of them actually incur quite a huge loss, I would say. So be very careful when you buy into the transformation story of projects that you're looking to invest in, because even though the impact might be big, the time for it to realize might be too long for it to even happen. And you have to take note that most property in Singapore are 99 years. Even if it do materialize, you have to factor in depreciation costs and everything. 20 years down the road, your 99 years property with the start of the land lease, it might left with only like 60, 70 years, which will also affect the asking price for your property. So what is the property, or what is the area that will have a more immediate transformation? One place that I will highlight is the west area, the Jurong Lake district, because they have a clear timeline of what is going to happen in the next 10 years. And Jurong Lake district is a business hub. This business hub is actually supported by the Tengah HDB area, because all these people that stay here, right, they will eventually find a job around the area as well. So this is something I usually highlight. If you are working in, let's say, Changi Business Park, most likely you do not want to stay in the west. Not say it's not likely, but the percentage of people that want to do that is quite minimal. Most people will just try to shift nearer to Changi Business Park as near as possible. So why our government planned Jurong Lake district in such a way, right, is that will be the second CBD hub. And where will the working population, or where will the tenants that want to work in the area rent or stay in? They'll definitely stay around the area. So if you're looking to invest in and exit in the next 5 to 10 years, the west area is something interesting that you can look to, but I will not further dwell into it. It will be on a separate video of the different exit stages you can have for your property planning. So with that, I would like to summarize the framework for the day, which I'm trying to share with all my clients and with you out there. Always, firstly, look at your investment objective. Is it something for legacy? If it's something for legacy, then it doesn't matter if the transformation happened 20 years, 30 years, 40 years down the road. Just buy a freehold property and you can hold forever, and the story will go on because people will always buy into that story. But if you have a shorter time horizon, or you say, okay, I want to exit in the next 10 years or the next 5 years, what is going to happen in the next 5 years that will drive your property price up? Okay, this is something that you have to be clear. Okay, what is going to happen, then the time is going to happen. So always remember, prioritize the objective of your investment first. After that, look at the impact of the transformation of the area you're buying into, and lastly, the time it requires for this thing to happen. So all in all, this is what I have to share on the transformation. On my upcoming videos, I'll share more on the Jurong Lake District transformation, Beauty World transformation, and the Paya Lebar transformation. If you like my videos and you find them useful and valuable, do remember to like, share, and subscribe.